Okay, I think we're live. Wait, are we live? Let me post the link real quick. Can somebody check for me if we're live? Let's go on YouTube. Okay, we are not.
Don't see any live. I see it
on YouTube.
You see it?
Yeah, I can see it on YouTube.
Okay, cool. And we're live. Okay, you can start, Gia.
Hi everyone, I'm Gia. I want to show you guys some framed work first. I just got them back from the frame shop. They are for our upcoming show. So they're framed, so I can't show you, like, I can't take it out. So here are some still life paintings. I'll show closer.
Ooh.
Sorry for the glare of the glass. They're gouache paintings.
I love this one. This one's my favorite.
Thank you, Lyndon. So this one was quite challenging because I never painted this material, the foil, so I wanted to give it a try, and I think it might be interesting to paint. So steak, meat, yes, because this show is food related. So one of the category is meat. So I wanted to give it a try. I never painted meat before. I usually don't paint meat.
Tell us about the show you're participating in. Where is it? When is it? What is it about?
It's the opening session is on April 16th. It's gonna be in New York.
Oh, cool.
So some fruit ones.
Where's it going to be in New York?
Where? I'm not sure what the exact address. I can post it when because I'm not really familiar with New York. I'm in California, so I can post it on my Instagram later on.
Cool. I'll go check it out.
Thanks. Cheesecake. So I wanted to paint some dessert for the show, so here it is. And fish. Sorry if the camera is kind of shaking. I'm just holding my phone right now.
No, it looks good.
Thank you. So here's the frame ones.
Cool.
And I'm
them
gonna
all together.
show some. So like I don't have a lot of sketchbook pieces, so I'm gonna show some individual ones. I am working on a sketchbook right now, though. Hopefully, for the future episodes, I'll have a sketchbook to follow.
Have these all been painted from life, Gia, so far?
Which one?
Have the ones you've shown so far been painted from life?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
It's okay. So the landscape paintings, the newest one is this one. This is a demo I did for my gouache class. Some really old plein air paintings, like before pandemic, because during pandemic I mainly just painted at home. For still life, I set up my own still life, and then sometimes I work from like a photo that I shoot. And landscape, let me keep showing these ones. Is there any glare?
Nope, not too much.
Okay, because it's in the plastic bag. Let me know if a certain angle is better. I can move around a little bit. This is like how I protect my painting basically. After I paint it, I just put them in this plastic bag so that I can just stack them together. And when I get older, like I sell, then I just can just grab it and put it in an envelope and ship. So it's really convenient. So that's how I storage my painting, and it saves room too. These are like some plans before pandemic. And
Are these all locations in your neighborhood?
not anymore. Like some of them are from LA and some of them from like my older house. Like not like my house, but like around, like they're parked around in the same city, but not where I'm living right now. This is definitely not because this is Catalina Island. I did this planner during a trip to there. Other ones are like in neighborhood, like parks. And I love doing flower paintings, like roses, especially. I like to go to Rose Garden every year. Oop. Rose paintings.
So good.
Thank you. I just love doing them. Like, I love flowers, so it's always my like favorite topic. I know it's not for like everyone. Like, not everyone likes flowers, but I do love them. Get these out. They just stuck there. And I have some more still life. These two pieces are really old still life, but this is either way. But I still like them. I just want to show, which is really rare. That's something that's really old, but I still like them.
Oh man, I love your egg yolk paintings. It's so slimy and shiny.
Thank you. I enjoy painting eggs. This is also something that I have at home all the time. So a lot of my still life paintings are just based on what I have at home. Cherries. So like this one, I think I had a bag of cherries that I ate, and like I have some leftovers in the bag, and then I just thought, oh, it might be interesting to paint it because I never paint a Ziploc bag. That's why I painted this one. Hopefully there's no glare. Watermelons.
Ooh.
I love watermelons. I love eating them and painting them. And some bacon and egg breakfast painting. More still lives.
Do you just have a lot of like still life props in your studio?
No, I don't. Like this one, like this picture here, and this I borrowed from my neighbor. So my neighbor has a lot of still life. I mean, she's not an artist, but she has a lot of amazing stuff at her house. And I'm pretty close to my neighbor. So I just paint whatever I want to paint from her house.
Man, that's such a good deal. You don't have to clutter up your house, and you can have all these like cool things in your paintings.
Yeah. because I don't collect a lot of stuff, so I don't have these really nice still lifes in my house. So I look at her house.
And like you give her some paintings in return.
Yeah, I give her a lily pad painting,
Aw.
and I show her all my paintings that I've done from her prop. And this is some really old fish paintings.
Whoa.
I think it might be watercolor or gouache. I'm not sure because it's pretty old. This is also fish painting. Okay, I do have one story to tell for you.
Okay.
So this is, I guess, the only sketchbook painting I'm showing right now. You can see this here. So this is an old sketchbook, and in that sketchbook, this is the only painting I liked it after I painting the book. So I take this out, put it in the back, and I throw out the rest of the book.
No.
I throw away the rest.
I'm sad. I'll never see those paintings.
So I also have some coasters from the Coast Guard event. I don't have a lot left. I mean, not a lot I like because a lot of them I traded with friends. So here are some that I have left. I trade a lot with them. Can't squeeze in another one, but here it is. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna show today. Do you have any questions for me? Or anyone else have questions?
Any questions for Gia? How are you so good?
I just want to say next time, don't throw away anything. Sell it on eBay.
Okay, I'll give it a try. I don't know, I think I told you this is Laurie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I told you, like, I just feel bad selling to people that things that I don't like. But I can give it a try, see what happens.
I have
Yeah.
a question for Gia.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Thank you. Do you, for the coasters, do you prime your coasters before with brushes?
You can and you don't have to. And this one I prime all these coasters. I used to just paint right on the wood, but this time I wanted to try the opaque gouache. Not opaque. What is it called? Acrylic gouache. So I use a white acrylic gouache to prime it first, so it's not reacted with water. So then I can do regular gouache on top.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gia, are any of the paintings that you've shown today for sale?
Yes. Except the ones that are for the upcoming show, every painting is for sale. I have my shop link on my Instagram, and I can post my Instagram or the shop link on to event chat later.
Awesome. Thank you.
Some of the paintings I haven't uploaded to my shop yet because I haven't been managing my shop a lot lately. Just been too busy with class and other projects. But I will upload more stuff onto my shop soon. And I have prints for sale too, but also I need to update them, putting some new prints.
Go grab your Gia original, guys. It's on her website. All right, thank you so much, Gia. Yeah.
Yay!
Clap, clap, clap.
Thanks, Gia. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Phew.
Okay, Wayne, do you want to go next?
Let me
Yeah,
turn off my.
oops.
Hey.
All right. Um, All right, cool. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So my name is Wayne, and I'm going to be showing some really old stuff that I found in my room that I dug up this past week, which I thought is pretty interesting. And if we have time, I'll show you some like newer stuff too. But I think a lot of you have already seen like my newer stuff, so more interesting to see like the really old stuff when I first started painting, because I'm surprised I still have a lot of these. But yeah, so I'm just gonna hold up my paintings. But all this was done when I was kind of like a art student. This was when I was still working in architecture, and I did not start working as an artist in animation yet. So I used to live in Claremont, California, which is like Los Angeles, but it's like way far out in the suburbs, like an hour away from like LA. And so this is the tree.
Well, I didn't know you were an architect. When did you
You didn't?
No, I
Oh,
never knew that.
yeah, yeah. That's what I did before I switched to animation. Um, so there was a time in my life where I kind of just painted for fun, kind of for fun. Like I went out painting a lot and sketching a lot, looking at buildings and still drawing, like doing the whole plein air thing. But it was just fun, and I made it a goal to go out like once a week to kind of get started. So most all these paintings here are from that time period. So this is Scripps College in Claremont. It's mostly famous. If you do know it, you probably know it because of the Claremont colleges. There's 5 of them. And Scripps College is the women's college. And it's really, really pretty. It's like this, it has really beautiful architecture. I think
Nice.
oh, never mind.
No, tell
But
your story. Tell your story.
no, I thought I took you there, but you didn't actually go inside. Remember that time?
Right, we were just sitting outside the gate and waiting
Right,
for
right
more
outside the
people to
gate.
come in.
Yeah. Only Jennifer went inside. But yeah, Scripps was my favorite of the colleges to paint at because of the architecture. So you can see it's like super old, traditional Spanish, as opposed to some of the more fancy buildings. But I spent a lot of time painting at the colleges because they were really the nicest place to kind of walk through. At the time, I basically just act like I'm a college student and just hang out and
At a
hang out
women's
for cafes
college?
and stuff. What?
At the women's college?
Uh, yes, I painted at the women's college and the other colleges too. But I mean, it's not like it's all like people are allowed on campus. That was back when I was still young. Okay, I can get away with stuff. So this is Pomona College. It's right next door. Um, Different style architecture. It's the liberal arts college. Um, this was this is a little part within Scripps. They have like a rose garden, and yeah, thought it would be kind of fun to paint. Like this was. I also remember this painting in particular because I was like, so at this time I was trying to learn like how to paint better, um, and try stuff out, and I was trying like to be like quote unquote impressionist because I used to paint really really like detailed. So this was one of the first paintings that I actually did that kind of had like impressionism and has those like pinks and stuff that I still do now. I remember I was really proud of this one.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, this one was Scripps College too. It's pretty cool because the sprinklers turned on on the lawn while I was painting, so I just kind of it was really cool though because the light was shining in on it, and then like the water was getting hit by the light, and I was standing like away off the lawns, so it actually looked really really cool, even though it was kind of like artificial. So that was a kind of fun one. And then back in Claremont, when I don't go to the colleges to paint, then the next best place is the Claremont Hills. Claremont's like on the base of Mount Baldy, if people know where it is. So there's a bunch of like hiking trails that go straight up into the mountains, and sometimes I will just go up and hike up the hills and just paint. So yeah, so these are a bunch of like old school paintings that I did back when I was just painting for myself. Um, these two paintings is El Matador Beach. This was the first time I've ever been to El Matador, and I like loved it there. I thought it was like the best place ever, and this was also like one of my first paintings that I did I actually liked. So yeah, I'll definitely remember this one.
I love those waves,
And
wave patterns.
yeah, and then this one was same thing. Looking back, in I was I kind of made up this water stuff. I wasn't actually standing in the water. That'd be kind of ridiculous. Um, so I went out there, took a picture of it standing in the water, and then moved in and then added it all. But still an awesome place to paint. And then shortly after that whole journey, I was like, "Wow, painting's really fun. I like painting." Um, I took Peter Chan's class at CDA, so I have some paintings from that where I was doing like homework and stuff. So you can see my homework still lifes from when I was taking his class. Just finding whatever you have around the house. So this is the special Pikachu Yellow Edition Game Boy Color from my childhood, and Pokemon Red.
What's that thing on top? The white thing.
It's a little cow. It's a cow thing that I got from Taiwan, and it has a little thing you can take out of its butt, and it becomes a pen.
What?
But it's really like you will never use it because it's so like not ergonomical. But it's kind of cute. I think it's still sitting in my home room somewhere. So,
Oops.
well, hi Q. Wow, way to just
Sorry.
bomb my.
Oh, sorry. I was cleaning my keyboard and I accidentally turned on the video. So sorry. Oops.
Wait, actually, Q, when you
Um.
turn on your camera, Wayne's camera went HD, so can you turn it back on again? It's kind of blurry right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, it sometimes fades out, right? Like, maybe you can turn on your camera.
Okay, wait. Nope, not
Hmm.
working.
Yeah.
It's only when Q
Anyways,
turns it on.
another still life goal. Always fun to paint from that time period. And then, yeah, some stuff I did during class. This is Pasadena, some park we went for class. All these paintings I did back in the day. By the way, I used like a Zorn color palette. So it was ultramarine, yellow ochre, alizarin, and white mostly.
Wait, this painting is a Zorn palette painting?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, that's so blue.
Well,
How?
actually, no. The old paintings I showed you were definitely Zorn palette because that's all I definitely used. And then when I took Peter's class, at some point he yelled at me and was like, "You should use more colors." He's like, "Use my crazy colors," and I was like, "Okay." Um, but yeah, the old like stuff from Claremont was all done in that palette. Pretty sure this was too. And then there was a time when I started exploring more, but this is right outside of CDA. Like I don't know if most people don't remember it, but for those of you who've been there, that paper shop and that cactus at night, you were just painting it during class. This was watermelon under pink light, my first colored light explorations, and it was honestly really, really fun.
Whoa.
It like made me see color 50 times better. I was like, oh, now I can get all those pinks and stuff. Because yeah, back then, like in all those previous paintings, I just kind of paint like earth tones. So
So that's
this
the
one was a
secret.
cool
Everybody go
breakthrough.
paint watermelons. You'll get 50 times better, according to Wayne.
Yeah, watermelon under pink light, and then you'll make your watermelon extra pink, and then it'll like feel really pink. But it really does help people see color. If they can't see like a lot of color, is to just paint really saturated objects or objects under saturated light.
It's wonderful anyway.
This is a tree. This was not from the same time period. This was a little later with warrior painters, I remember. But it's just in this bundle. A tree somewhere. Let's see. This is La Crescenta. There is a. I forgot what it was. Was it like a penitentiary or something? Anyone? It was a warrior painter session, but there was like a in La Crescenta Montrose some old like mental institution or something that's not being used anymore. So that was kind of neat. There was a time period in my life where I painted squirrels and everything, but that has changed. This was when was this? What's that place called? Venice? Yeah, Venice Canals. Well, not the canals, but like Venice. Wait, or is it not? No, it's not. Marina del Rey. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was Marina del Rey and the boats in the harbor over there. This was the last class for Peter's class, so this was when I started using like different colors in my color palette. But it's still really like muted.
Do you use like CMYK by the end of the class?
No, I didn't use CMYK until way later, until I found it for myself. Because, yeah, I don't know. No one ever told me about it. And then this is Manhattan Beach, I think. It's one of the beaches in LA next to Santa Monica where like everyone surfs. But it's pretty cool because it's right next to like the factories, and it's really, really flat, but it's kind of neat because it's so like vast and big compared to like El Matador or like the other beaches that you normally paint at. This was inside a cafe somewhere. This was it was high key week for Peter's class, so we were supposed to do paintings in high key. So I tried to paint like a bright lit cafe thing. Yeah. Oh,
Into the back room of the restaurant or the cafe? Or were you
yeah.
just sitting
Well,
at
I
the
was sitting in the
keyboard?
back. I'm looking out the front. There's
I
like a
see.
little, yeah. And then this was, so I painted this one and this one. Um, this was in Arizona on the California River, not the Colorado River that runs between California and Arizona. And I painted this like on a boat that was like shaking. Like we docked it into the harbor of the rocks. So I think this specific spot is called like I forgot what it was called. Yep, forgot what it was called. But it's like some special like wildlife rock area that the water that the river runs through, and so it's pretty cool to paint. It's I just like took out my paints like while we were on the boat, and I was like, I'm gonna paint this. They're like, okay, all right.
How
I'm
long
like,
were you
cool.
docked for?
Probably like an hour or something. We were just like hanging out and resting and like taking a break. But yeah, it was fun though. It's always cool. Like vacations change after you become a plein air painter, because then you just want to paint everything and you annoy everyone else around you. And then this one is Castle Green, or
Pasadena?
yep, yeah. So around that same time period too. Cool building. So yeah, these are all kind of paintings from like that time period before I started animation.
When did you start putting in that strawberry girl into all your paintings?
That was I don't know, like it's been like a couple of years now, right? How much time do we have, Lyndon? How much time do I
You
get?
can keep going. You can keep going. This is great.
Okay. Because yeah, those are paintings from a long time ago. I'll show you when I jump to CMYK. So I think I started when I started working at DreamWorks with like Angela and them, and basically we would paint during lunch. And there was a time period where we just did a bunch of like office still lifes. We just find crap from people's desks and we just painted. So this was like a little. It's a pot. It's like a plant that grows, and then the tongue is supposed to soak up water.
So cool.
Except it like never worked.
Oh.
It never actually grew. So this is just made up.
Oh.
So I still have the pot, but like it never blossomed. Very sad. But yeah, I have so many of these, and most of them are just like thrown away. I don't even know where they went. These are ones I actually painted on like nice cottonwood board, so I still have them. It's like bananas, mustard jar. But this was at some point I did switch to CMYK because I got super bored, and we were just trying weird stuff out. So all these like kind of colors, like these muted pinks and purples that you can start seeing, are the ones that I still use a lot to this day. Same as this one. It's like strawberries. There's no story related with me and strawberries. Okay.
Were these from your Kipo days?
Yeah. So this is when I was working on Kipo. But yeah, I think this is CMYK. I can see that like mixing of color in the yellow and the more of the cyan. So the color palette totally changed at that point. And then there was a time where we got bored of painting from office lights, so we started bringing in colored lights. And Angela got this like, it's like not a singular colored light. It's like within the prism, so it like fragments.
Whoa.
So it's like multicolored or something. It was really ridiculous.
Sounds hard.
But it was pretty fun though. So then you got like multicolored lights shining on something. But yeah, this was fun. It was really good practice. That was when I actually got like good with color, I think, because we did so many of these weird color studies, and then we really pushed the colors because we were pushing the palettes. Like all the paintings I showed before were very just true to life, kind of muted. And then I guess the most recent stuff. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen all this, but you can kind of see how like my paintings have really changed.
I remember those.
You remember this one, Lyndon?
Yeah.
I did this one with you. Batman statue in downtown Burbank. I've always wanted to paint it, so thanks for coming out and painting it with me.
Thanks for showing me the spot. It was cool.
Yeah. But Yeah, all my recent paintings. I think this was at a warrior painter session, and this one was
Taco Bell?
uh yeah, Del Taco. Well, you were painting Del Taco, and then me and Amanda were painting someone's back alley. Yeah, this was the Scripps one, outside of Scripps, when I took you. Oh, and I have all these paintings from the LA River, so I guess that's like my most recent stuff is because I live close to there now, and I went there so much during like pandemic and lockdown. Um, like all three of these are from the LA River, just different shots of the LA River. Yeah, LA River, Pasadena City Hall, some really bad LA River painting. I don't know what I was thinking. And
I
then this
love
was
those
Pasadena.
like lens flares that you do in your paintings. Like
No,
the
I know, yeah.
top left one. Yeah.
I know. I should stop doing that because it makes it really obvious that I took a photo before I started.
Well, I wouldn't know that if I wasn't there.
Because like you can't stare into the sun like that and paint. You would go blind. But yeah, I mean, I always take a photo. Like it's still a good practice to take a photo of whatever you're painting when you start. So you capture the lighting situation. And sometimes like the lens flare or the light bleeds a certain way, and it actually adds a lot of color to your paintings. And I see this. I think it's cool to just include, especially like in traditional, because sometimes it's not always about. It's not going to look photorealistic because it's squash, so it just adds a little bit more like spectacle to it.
Hmm.
This was Greystone Mansion out in Beverly Hills. There's like this row of cypress trees or whatever they're called. So it's kind of neat. And then more LA River, like super moody LA River, sunsets LA River. I've painted that place so many times. I'm like kind of sick of it. And then, oh yeah, and I guess you can see the girl in a lot of these.
Were those like the first ones? Do you remember when you started?
Oh no, those are really recent. So
Oh, okay.
the first one was like from probably on some digital painting a long time ago. Like at least 2 3 years now. Um, More warrior painter sessions. So this was that park you took us to, Lyndon.
No, it was Steve. It
With
was like Day of the Dead, right?
the Day of the Dead one,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then Brand Park, yeah.
I don't know if you stuck around. But the owner of the truck came by and like bought a bunch of paintings from us after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I bailed. That's awesome. These were from a little road trip I did up to San Luis Obispo. Um, so there's so much going on. There's like this tiny cove there called like Seashell Cove or something, but it's really incredible. There's a bunch of weird rock formations that you won't see very you won't see in other places too much. And it's just like this random cove that I found, so that was really cool. And then these two were in some nature reserve. I forgot what it's called, but it looked like alien landscapes. The paintings really don't do it justice because I was kind of rushing, but yeah, I remember those places were pretty cool. So let's see what else. This was a little older. This was like a year ago. This was the still lifes when I was like prepping for class. More LA River. And then this was, where was this? Oh, this was in a hiking trail behind Burbank. I think Q was there. Maybe this one too. I don't remember. Yeah, there was a while when we were hiking and painting. When I, used to get exercise. All right, I'll show a couple more. So still lives around the same time period. Still lives from when I was prepping for class, and more LA River because that's like all I paint. And this is
Is that durian?
no, this fruit is, I forgot what it was called. It's the weirdest looking fruit I can find at Sprouts. And when I cut it open, I had no idea it was gonna be like this green like thing inside.
It's a
Um,
Cubano melon.
Did you
yeah,
eat it?
yeah, it's a Kiwano melon. Yeah, it was actually not bad. Like there's a lot of seeds inside, so it's not like super easy to eat, but the flavor was like kind of, I liked it.
Is that like jackfruit?
Um, I don't know. I don't know how similar it is to jackfruit, but I don't even know if I've had jackfruit.
It looks like it. I've never had it either.
Yeah, but for a while I just go to Sprouts and I buy whatever random. I basically grocery shop for painting as opposed to for eating because I like don't.
Like that?
Yeah, I eat them. I can barely cook, so I just buy stuff that looks pretty and then I figure out how I'm gonna eat it later. And then yeah, so I went through a little still life phase where it's always nice to paint still lifes to study color.
Was that recent?
And
Your still life phase?
what?
Was that recent?
No, that was when I was like teaching class, and I basically had to teach how to paint still lifes.
Hmm.
Same as this too. Um, this is like my all these plants are like my old roommates, Jellies. And if they were all done, these were like demos for class. So you probably like seen me paint this plant like a million times. Um, but I also do it in gouache too. So yeah, just plants. Not always landscapes and not always LA River, but always good practice. Um, but yeah, there is still so many more, but they're all basically the same thing over and over again.
More
So
LA rivers,
I
stacks and
think,
stacks of LA river.
yeah, I have so many more of like LA River and like the same places. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you found that interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. That was so cool. Anyone have questions for Professor Wayne?
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hi. I'm just curious, like, in terms of, it was so cool to see the progression of whenever you first started painting until, like, more recent paintings. I was just wondering, like, how long, like, in terms of years did that span, kind of?
Oh, yeah. I think, let's see. Well, the most recent stuff, like all the LA River painting stuff, was done within the last year or two. So, and then when I took Peter's class, I think that was 2015 or maybe 2016. I think it was 2016. So that would be 6 years. And then when I was doing, well, I guess I was living in Claremont and doing architecture that back then too. So yeah, from the very earliest stuff, like from Claremont colleges and stuff, that was around probably 6 years ago.
So cool to see the progression. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? If not, we can move on to Larry.
Cool. Thanks everyone for watching me ramble.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yes, Professor Wayne.
Thank you for sharing.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So there was a painting that I actually wanted to show, but I actually I recently gave it away, and it was actually a LA River painting that I painted, and I just want to tell this story just so that you just saw Wayne painting the paintings and it's fresh in your mind. So I was painting a river, and then at the end of the river, I saw somebody sit down and paint. And I was like, "Oh man, who's that cute girl? You know, he looks pretty cute from the back." And then later on, I turn around and turn out it's Wayne. So from the back, he looks really pretty. So anyway,
thanks, Larry.
Yeah,
Always
nice hair. So I'm gonna show a bunch of paintings. I used to a few months ago when we did a show and tell. I showed you what I had in the sketchbook, but the problem with the sketchbook is that sometimes people were required to buy it, so it was kind of painful to just slice a page out and try to sell it. So after that, I started painting everything loose leaf. As you see, I have a bunch of stuff that are framed in these cheap IKEA frames, and this way I can sell them kind of framed, so sell them a little bit more. So yeah, let's start. Well, they're not in a particular order, and by the way, this is my dog, so I don't have a weird hairy gut. My dog. Linda, do you remember this?
Yeah.
So this tiny painting is I think this is a watercolor painting that I did when we went to the Rose Bowl to watch orchestra version of the is it the Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Was that what we watched?
Bride. Yeah.
Princess Bride. Yeah. So me, Lyndon, and did Anna do it too? No, she
Anna's
didn't.
the one who got us in.
Yeah, but she didn't paint, right?
No, she didn't paint.
She didn't paint. Yeah. So all of us we painted. Well, just the two of us we painted because we're weird like that. We don't enjoy things. We just sit there and paint. This is from a few weeks ago, a paint session that I ran in San Pedro. There's these shipping containers, and I think it wasn't as topical anymore. But then they have. Do you remember that shipping container that got stuck in the middle of Central America, the Evergreen? So these were actually ships from the brand Evergreen, so it was pretty funny. So yeah, we painted it, and then we ate afterwards at the pier. These are a series of paintings I did when I traveled in Austin this past year. So there's a lot of cool places there to check out. This is after taking a Mike Hernandez class, so I kind of was more experimental. Actually, this is in between Mike Hernandez classes, so I tried to experiment and try to paint more in the style that he recommended. I remember making my girlfriend pretty mad because I stopped and paint a bunch of spots, and yeah, so if you're with somebody who doesn't enjoy painting, don't paint. But if you're with a bunch of friends to go painting, definitely stop and check out and enjoy the view in a different way. On that same trip, we went to this famous barbecue, which people argue is like one of the best barbecues in America, called Franklin Barbecue in Austin. So I woke up in the sunrise to try to paint it, so it was like pretty misty and foggy. So I put an order in the night before. Usually there's a long wait, but during the pandemic you get to order things ahead of time. So here's a Franklin barbecue. Okay, so this is a old painting I did of I think it's called Shakespeare Bridge. I think somewhere in LA. This is one of my favorite paintings that I did. It's a little bit older, but I had a good time painting from below. I met some cool people that day, and we were isolated from everybody because everybody was actually at the top of the bridge. We painted the bottom because I wanted to get that underside view. But it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I think what person that I was painting with really needed to use the restroom, and she went up to this guy's house and knocked on the door and says, "Can I pee in your house?" And he actually let her, and
Nice guy.
Turned out he was some big music producer that mixes music for movies, so it's pretty cool. This is I'm pretty sure those of you in LA know this place. This is a Gallery Nucleus. So I painted this before we had a show with the Warrior Painters a few years ago. It was either a show or it was Angela's private personal show. So we held an event out there where a couple of us painted before the show started. So that was that. This one is not a painting that I'm particularly proud of, but I will forever keep because this was a paint session that did I do this? Somebody did a paint session here, but it was during near the Chinese New Year in the pandemic. So it was right before the pandemic went fully hit. I remember this very clearly for two reasons. This is right before the pandemic hit, and then we had to not paint in person. Just out of sheer safety, and we just weren't sure how the pandemic works. But this is also the day that we found out while we were painting, we found out Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, passed away. So I will always remember this painting or this moment. So for me, a lot of my paintings are the ones that I keep are the ones that I put in frames. Are not necessarily my best paintings, but the paintings that hold a special memory for me. A lot of them are travel paintings. So usually when I go to some place, instead of taking a picture of it, I like to sit there and paint a little bit and process the time I've had there. So it's like a better keepsake memory for me. This is at Travel Town. So basically, this is an area in LA near Griffith Park where they have a bunch of trains. Trains like a Ticket to Ride the game, but which is a game late at night we play online. We used to play online quite a lot. But yeah, it's a fun. I think this is a paint session that either Michelle or somebody held. So it's really close by. I really highly recommend people to go out there to do a painting there. So yeah, I don't think you can see it because my camera is too blurry. But usually I usually date the things, which I've stopped doing, but I should start doing it again because it allows me to remember what point in time when it was. So I think if there's a place where you can, I recommend that you date the photos so you kind of remember when you took it, and I label it where it is. So a specific format that I follow. Whoops, I muted myself. This one. So in between San Diego and LA, I'm pretty sure those of you who are Southern California natives, there's a place where everybody calls the nuclear boobies. So there are these two giant nuclear power plants with a flashing light at the top so they look like nipples. So every time we drive by, everybody who's a little bit mature always drives by and laughs. And I've always wanted to paint there, but we weren't really sure where we would because you would have to stop in the middle of the road facing out the ocean, but it's just off freeway. So there's no real proper place to stop. Also because, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let people park in front of two nuclear reactors. I think it's deactivated already, but it was been a dream of mine to paint it. So one day I figured out where to park. I had to walk in a long way. Parking was kind of expensive for what it was, but it's just a bucket list item that I wanted to do. So I sat down and I painted the nuclear boobies. It's San Onofre. So maybe in the future I may hold a session out there, maybe bring everybody out there. It's a pretty interesting place, a fun place if we go with more people. Okay, so this is a paint session we had in Chinatown, and this is a place that a lot of people who are SoCal they're pretty familiar with. A lot of people go out there paint quite often. So we painted here for the Chinese New Year, and funny enough, I posted one of these paintings online, not this one, but another one online, and somebody contacted me, and the owner or the grandson of this shop contacted me and said, "Hey, is it for sale?" And it's like, yeah, it's like, a bunch of us painted here. So, I want to buy as many as I can. So, I ended up selling that painting to him and linking him to a bunch of other warrior painters who painted on site who wanted to sell to him. So we ended up going there several days. I think did you sell to him, Lyndon?
That guy was so nice. He bought 3 paintings for me.
He bought 3. So we were painting every day. This guy, he's a baller. I think his dad his grandpa was the original owner of this, one of the first people to come to Chinatown. so there's a historical significance to it. It's called Hop Louis. And then so I started painting a lot, and then we paint so much, and then I think one of Alvin, he wanted this really ambitious and big painting that he was doing. He wanted to paint a really big one, but I think he took too long, and the guy ran out of money, so he stopped buying paintings and didn't contact. So Alvin's stuck with the painting. But yeah, it was fun times. But I got really sick of this location.
Yeah.
So out in I think Anaheim, somewhere in Anaheim, there's this the thing that the structures. I like to paint structures because they're pretty interesting. But some of the most interesting structures are these mega churches because they always have these high towers. So there's this one that's like all made out of metal and glass. It looks like the Tower of Sauron. So it looked really evil looking. So we went to go paint. So it was a pretty fun day. It's really, really hard to paint though. So you can't tell from the camera, but I paint with really, really small details with the number 1 brushstroke. But I think as I get older, it's getting really hard to paint like that because my eyes are getting worse. And this one is of I think it's the Hotel de Coronado. It's a place in San Diego. So we like to occasionally throw like a longer distance paint sessions. A lot of us will carpool, and we came here. This is a really fun day because I think we had like 2 or 3 really good meals there. On the way down, we ate some good food, and after the paint session, we we ate some other good food, Italian food afterwards. And I remember going all the way out here because the main draw is this building that they have on the beach. It's a beautiful beach, but then this is like a rich person's resort. But if you sneak in, you can paint it. And then like I remember I gave crap to one of the persons who came because they found a bunch of rocks on the side and they started painting the rocks. I'm like, you came all the way out here to paint rocks? But everybody can paint what they want. But this is in San Diego, so it's a beautiful area. I would go there again, maybe in a few years, so that it's a little bit more fresh in people are not it's not as fresh in people's minds. All right, this is a painting that I painted with the person I met in the server. Who's I don't know why his name escapes me in the moment. Australian Mark, yeah, Australian Mark. That's not his name. His name is Mark, but he's from Australia. But we went out there to another church in Pasadena to paint, and it was a fun day. It's a really tall church, and it's quite beautiful. So maybe I don't know if I've ever set an event here, but then some place to go again. It's pretty nice. All right, let's see. Okay, so that went off. This painting is a painting that holds a special memory for me because I'm a pretty straight arrow. Like I didn't drink until I was after 21, and I never did any drugs or marijuana or anything. But I think I was going through a bit of a slump, like an art slump, and so I keep on hearing people say, when you do a little weed, like you'll see things a little bit differently, and your art gets better. So I decided to try some before this paint session, thinking that I would be it could unlock some powers. But I took some, and during the entire paint session, like I didn't feel anything. Maybe I thought that I was imagining things, but the paint turned out okay. It was nice for its time. But it wasn't until after I finished painting that everything kicked in because I took way too much, and it was wild. But after that I never did anything for a long time because like it scared me. But yeah, so maybe we'll try that another time. This painting, we did another long road trip up to a little bit north of NorCal, not NorCal, but then like north of Central Cal. This is Morro Bay, and this is a really fun painting that I will always remember because we did 3 paintings that weekend. We did a long road trip painting for the Warrior Painters. It was during like a holiday weekend, so I think initially they decided to not do anything, but I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't go back to their family, don't really have the chance to go home to their family. So I said, if we do like a smaller road trip, would anybody be interested? And surprisingly, there's like 7 of us in the Warrior Painters who went up, and we booked the Airbnb, and we did paintings along the way. And this one, I think I remember mentioning that sunrise paintings are really, really nice to do. So like I convinced a lot of the people to wake up with me at the time and to do a sunrise painting. So we drove out here, and it was still dark, and we started setting up while it was dark, and it was really, really, really cold. And as the light started rising, and we were almost kind of starting to wrap up our painting, it was really funny. 2 people I was with was Alvin, Sherwin, and I think Yosef. And when the sun was rising and I was hitting the tip of the thing, you can hear the guys going, "Woo! Oh wow! Look at the light hit that! Oh wow! It's so beautiful! Oh yeah!" I couldn't stop laughing because I was just like so baffled by how excited they were for the painting. So I got a lot of amusement seeing how excited they were for light hitting a certain way, because like those guys were true painters. I was there along for the ride, but they seemed to really enjoy it. And I guess the last painting I'm going to show is to promote. Not this tomorrow. We're having a paint session. We're having a paint session at a McDonald's nearby, but then next weekend is going to be my paint session that I'm going to run, and I'm going to hold it here again. This is the Venice Canals. So out in LA, there's in Venice Beach, there's these houses that are next to these canals, and it's quite beautiful. There's like they try to mimic what it's like in Venice, but it's pretty nice. A bunch of houses, very unique houses. They're probably like pretty expensive, but that's also the first weekend of Weekend Warrior Painters, Plain April. So we have a challenge this year in terms of trying to mimic like Captain America. We have Earth, Water, Fire, and
Captain America.
Something. Huh? What?
Captain America.
Yeah, it was a play on Captain America, not Captain America, Captain Planet. Captain Planet. Sorry,
okay.
It's an old TV show from the 80s. So the first weekend is water, so that's why we're gonna paint here. So if those of you in the LA area, if you want to come out and paint with us, this would be a great time to have a paint session. If it's your first time, everybody's friendly. So come by, and we're going to paint these canals for me again. This would be my second time painting. But I remember that paint session, there was like maybe like 10 or 12 people. So hopefully this time we get a little bit more, and it'll be fun. Even though we are in the pandemic, I think we're outside, so more people can show up. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
Yeah.
Anyone have questions for Larry?
I wish I can go to your paint sessions.
Yeah.
I wish I'm still in LA.
Yeah.
So much
if you do come down, I will try to plan a extra special paint session, because this particular weekend we are getting out of town guests from Boston, San Francisco, and North Carolina too. So there's a lot of people coming this weekend from the server who are from all over the place. So usually if we know that there's going to be a special guest coming, we'll try to do something more extravagant and more memorable. So yeah. So no questions?
Thanks, Larry. Thanks for sharing.
Cool.
That was so cool.
Thanks for sharing, Larry.
Hope everyone's,
Thank you for sharing, Larry. That's awesome.
hope everyone's ready to do some plein air for Plain April. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, thanks for hosting it, Lyndon.
Yeah.
Thanks for
coming,
hosting.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Lyndon.